Welcome once again to the Clear Skies Retirement Podcast with Jay Kirkwood of Secure Financial Management. My name is Randy Cook. Each week, Jay and I sit down here and kind of talk through some of the things that you might be seeing on TV. You might be seeing and you might be glued to that financial network and watching your money go up and down and wondering what's going to happen with interest rates, wondering what's going to happen with all that is going into our stock market. Well, that's why we're here, to talk about that and maybe give you a little bit more confidence as you go into your retirement. Jay, how are you doing today?
I'm doing real well, Randy. How have you been, bud?
I'm good. But
Good.
I am so proud once again here. We're going to take a shot at Suze Orman. This is my favorite thing to do. It's become like a cottage industry for us because a lot of these people that we talk about here in the financial media are telling you how much money you need to retire, and the numbers that they give us are just crazy. Suze Orman actually came out and she says, you know, you might be in retirement for 30 or maybe even 35 years. That's kind of a long one, but you might be in retirement for a long time. And she says $2 million is chump change. So, you know, currently only 16% of people in this country have $1 million saved for retirement. So it's just like kind of like a gut punch to everybody when she says a number like that. So I know we've talked about this before, but this story just keeps continuing, Jay, that people come out with these crazy numbers. And I think it's a detriment to a lot of people because I think people will say, well, unless I get to $1 million, I can't see a financial advisor yet. I'm not there yet. Right. And then they move the number to 1.2, 1.4, 1.6, 1.8.
Well, inflation, Randy.
All right. So let's go through this a little bit because I actually did the numbers. Since I've been doing financial shows, the numbers have gone from 1.2 million to 1.8. And now she says 2 million. So that means inflation on retirement is going up at a rate of 17% per year. That's crazy.
Wow. It is crazy.
That's nuts. So let's talk through this a little bit. Do people come in and do they quote these numbers to you?
Everyone wants to know, what is that number that I need? And any of these guys, and I don't really follow Suze Orman that much. It sounds like you're into following her a lot more than I am.
She just makes me mad.
She makes you mad. Whether it's her, whether it's Dave Ramsey, I mean, I don't think there's necessarily anything wrong with the things they say. It's just that the information is so generic, it's almost useless. I mean, the big message usually is live within your means, pay down debt, save, invest. Well, yeah, of course, right? That's kind of the basics of everything. Where it starts to fall apart is these sorts of things here, where there's people that would be reading or listening to her that are multi-millionaires. And there would be people listening and or reading, however they get their information, that have nothing and they're in debt and they need a completely different plan to what the other guy does. If you need to, I say this a lot, if you're going to need $2 million to retire, there's not many people that are going to be retiring because the money is just not there, right? And the truth is, for most people, it's not a matter of, maybe I have to work another 2 or 3 years. It doesn't matter how long you work. You're not going to get to that 2 million. It's just not practical, right? So getting a plan, getting to know that number, what is that number for me, for the life I want to live in retirement, for my financial situation? That's what you need to get. The only thing I can hope is these sorts of things that come out, hey, you need $2 million to retire. Well, probably that's not the case, firstly, for you. But hopefully it starts people thinking at least, well, then what is the right one for me, right? Where do I need to be? And getting that process started.
Well, it's maddening to me that a lady who's probably worth $50 million is shaking her finger at us and saying, the number one problem with you in retirement is you're going to Starbucks every day, and that's going to ruin your retirement. It's like, come on, get out of it. But the other thing, and we talked about this, there was a Gallup study that didn't look at people who are going into retirement. It looked at people in retirement. And 79%, almost 80% of people between the ages of 65 and 80 say they're living comfortably. They have enough money for retirement. So these two numbers do not match. They scare all of us getting into retirement that we have to have more money. We need more money. We need more money. And then you get into retirement and then you look at your account and you go, it's not even going down. I should spend more money. And it's really a different story for people getting ready and people in retirement, isn't it?
We had a couple in the office earlier this week, and he really wants to retire, and she really doesn't want him to.
Okay.
And kind of the conversation goes back and forth with the two of them, and we chat with her for a few minutes about something, and it's like, yeah, it's not going to happen. It goes straight back to him. He's like, yeah, probably is. And in just a few months, I'm going to retire.
She didn't want him home, is what it is.
Well, this is what it comes down to, and this is not unusual, right? And they're actually in a pretty good financial situation. And I said to her, this is making you real nervous, right? That's why you don't want to retire. I'm sure it's not that she wants to work him to death. I don't think it's that, right? It's just, hey, we've got this income coming in. Everything's fine. And once you stop working, we're not going to have that paycheck. What if some emergency comes up? All these things that are probably keeping her up at night as a concern. And I said to her, I was like, completely understand where you're coming from. Let me just tell you one thing. Whether he retires now or he retires in a year or 5 years, you're going to feel the same way.
Yeah.
Because it's a huge change in your life, right? At some point, hopefully she lets him retire and you guys are going to be living off your wealth. But that's why we're putting this plan together. This is why we want to give you a visual of what it's going to look like. And at some point, you'll need to take that leap, right? And that's why when you come to this study and you say, what was it, like 8 out of 10 or something, 80%, 79%, something like that, are doing just fine. Those people have probably been in retirement for 2, 3, 5, 10 plus years, whatever it is. And they're like, yeah, it's working out just fine. They're over that initial fear, the initial life of, and we talk about it, it's such a huge life change. You're basically doing a 180 with your life. You're going from a job to no job. You're going to a paycheck to you've got to make my own paycheck with the wealth I've created. I'm going from trying to grow and accumulate my wealth to now I'm drawing down on it. Kind of a lot of things going on there that are going to change. So this survey makes complete sense.
Well, you just brought up a new question for us to handle when you come into the meeting, and that what makes you scared about retirement? Give me a list. What are the things that you're worried about going into retirement? Bring that list, and let's check them off one by one and see if we can do the math. And when the numbers say you can retire, and now it's all in your court, when do you want to go? And as Jay says, somewhere along the line, you are actually going to make this decision. Let's make sure that as you do, you walk in with confidence. Find us online at retire210.com. There you can schedule an appointment or learn more about Jay and the team at Secure Financial Management. Again, that's retire210.com. If you've enjoyed this podcast, you want to hear more, have it delivered straight to your favorite podcast platform by hitting the like, follow, or subscribe button. And again, thanks for listening to the Clear Skies Retirement Podcast, and we'll see you next time.
Investment advisory services offered through investment advisory representatives at Secure Financial Management, a registered investment advisor. Exposure to ideas and financial vehicles discussed are not designed nor intended to be applicable to any person's individual circumstances. It should not be considered as investment advice, nor does it constitute a recommendation that anyone engage in or refrain from a particular course of action. Past performance is not a guarantee of future results. Investments can fluctuate, and when redeemed may be worth more or less than when originally invested. Financial professionals are not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if Secure Financial Management is licensed in your state, please contact their office. Secure Financial Management is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency. Annuity guarantees rely solely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through Wholesalers Insurance. Jamin J. Kirkwood, Texas Insurance License number 1421850.